Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to Wednesday's English session. I hope you're all safe and well this morning. Just 3 more days to go, and then we'll all be back together next Monday. What we're going to do this morning is take the notes that you made yesterday, the argument points that you wrote yesterday in your books, and we're going to be getting you to start to write one side of an argument. Now, if you think back to yesterday's learning, at the very end of the lesson, I asked you to think about which side of the argument you're going to write. Okay, so hopefully you can still remember which side you picked. If you've changed your mind overnight, that's perfectly okay, not a problem. But hopefully you know which way you're going to argue. Are you going to be arguing that the children should have the right to create their own creatures, or are you going to say, no, actually, it's the God's job. It's not the children's job to do that. So that would be against the children doing what they have done. Okay, so just to remind you, I've put up the argument points for and against that I showed you yesterday. You can take a few minutes just to check through your own list if you want, and just make sure you're familiar with which side of the argument you're going to be writing, and also that you can, you're totally happy with all of the points that you have. Okay, so just take 2 minutes to think about that right now. Press pause while you're doing that and press play when you're ready to come back together. Okay, so hopefully you're fully conversant, you're fully happy with the side of the argument that you are going to be representing in your writing this morning. And what I want you to look at, I'm going to give you some help this week. This sheet will be on the website, it will be in your rainbow folder, and I'll attach it to this lesson for today, just so you can find it easily. And that is a little sheet there that will be really helpful for you this week, called persuasive sentence starters. These are going to be things that will be trying, you could use as a way of trying to get people to come around to your way of thinking. Okay, so you're going to be arguing on your side of the argument, and you're going to be using some of these things to help. Now, you won't use all of them today, but you will be focusing on the start of your argument today, the introduction. Okay, so you will have the chance to look at this more tomorrow than today, but I will still show you, still would want you to be looking at it and making yourself familiar, taking some of these sentence starters and putting them into your argument. What I would like you to do this morning is to have a look at the waggle. Now, this is going to be the waggle for one side of the argument. Now, I'm arguing that Ben and Sue should be able to create any creature that they want to. Okay, and what I've also tried to do is to use some of the persuasive sentence starters that were on that sheet that I showed you just now, and also I've also tried to put in as many Year 4 writing objectives as I possibly can. I don't think I've done enough, or I don't think I've put in any actually Alan Pete sentences. So for me, as an argument, I think I would be looking, if I was going to be trying to improve it in some way, I'd be trying to put in some either last word, first word, or 2 adjective pair sentences, or maybe 3 ED. Don't think 3 ED would work with this so well, but one of those types of sentences is a way that I could improve it. Okay, so I'm going to go through the waggle together, and what I want you to do while you're reading it is think, okay, what are the persuasive sentence features here, and also what Year 4 writing objectives can I possibly find? Okay, so here we go. I am here to argue the case for Ben and Sue to be able to create any creature that they feel like. Why should the gods have all the fun? Why should they be allowed to get away with not doing their job properly? I would draw your attention to the following pieces of evidence. I feel certain that once you hear my argument, you will agree with me. In my opinion, Ben and Sue had the right to create their own extraordinary, magnificent creatures. After all, the gods had not finished creating the world, so why shouldn't Ben and Sue have a turn? There can be no doubt that the gods have been incredibly lazy. Surely you can see that someone else deserves a chance to complete this stunning, exquisite world. I am convinced that the world is big enough to support many other species. Holes need to be filled, and what better way than to create new, spectacular creatures? In conclusion, the gods have had their chance to complete the dazzling diamond of a world. They have wasted the chance by resting on their laurels, by becoming too relaxed. So why not give Ben and Sue the opportunity to use their creative talents to make the world a better place? Okay, so what I want you to do very quickly is have a look at this waggle. Can you find any year 4 writing objectives? Just have a little look. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to look at that. Press pause now and press play when you're ready to come back. Okay, so straight away, we've got paragraphing, I can see. Structured paragraphs. Okay, I've got an introduction, I've got an ending, and I've got a couple of paragraphs in the middle. Okay, so that is a year 4 writing objective. I'm also I've also made sure that I've got rhetorical questions in there. I've also got an exclamation. I've tried to use frontal adverbial phrases, okay, and I'm also going quite heavy on things like the expanded noun phrases and trying to make those expanded noun phrases really quite exciting vocabulary, like stunning and exquisite, spectacular. So words that would be really, really interesting for people to read. However, for today's lesson, we're going to really focus on the opening. Okay, what I've done here, I've enlarged and copied and pasted the opening that I wrote in the waggle onto this page here. Now, clearly, in the first sentence, I am trying to make sure that it's clear which side of the argument I'm writing. Okay, so here I am here to argue the case for Ben and Sue to be able to create any creature that they feel like. So clearly in the first couple of sentences, I am explaining which side of the argument I'm on. I'm then going to use rhetorical questions. Why should the gods have all the fun? So I'm trying to set up that argument point now, that side of the argument. Why should they be allowed to get away with not doing their job properly? Okay. And then once I've got those couple of rhetorical questions in there that really will get your reader thinking, it'll hook them in, I've then followed it up with, I'm using a persuasive sentence opener from the sheet from earlier. I would draw your attention to the following pieces of evidence, okay? So I'm using my argument points, okay? I'm trying to get people to see which side of the argument I'm writing on. I'm also trying to get them to start getting ready to introduce the argument points. And finally, I feel certain, another persuasive sentence starter, that once you hear my argument, you will agree with me. So you can see I've got rhetorical questions and exclamations, okay? And I'm just about after this to go into the main part of the argument, which will be in tomorrow's lesson. Today, we are focusing on this. So you are going to open up your argument and you are going to pick or make sure that it's clear which side of the argument you are going to be writing for. Okay, so I want you to have a go at this morning. Use my waggle if you want to give you some ideas. Use the persuasive sentence starter sheet. Okay, I will drop a copy onto this morning's lesson plan folder on the website. I'll also drop it into the rainbow folder if you need it from there. Okay, but all I want you to focus on today is purely the opening, nothing more than that. Okay, shouldn't take that long. I'm probably thinking 10 to 15 minutes will be all you need. Okay, at a push 20 minutes, but if you get your heads down and get on with it, it shouldn't take all that long. And what we'll do tomorrow then is together we'll write the main part of the argument. Okay, so have a good lesson, enjoy your writing. I look forward to seeing it all at the end of the week, and I'll see you tomorrow.